drones in the distribution of blood as Parliament suspends approval of the agreement.
His Excellency the Vice President is leading Ghana into the path of unrighteousness. In fact, he's going to cause financial loss to the state because clearly the document that has been presented to Parliament is nothing but fraudulent.
But the Health Minister has been defending the deal.
Mr. Speaker, I don't see anything wrong with utilizing donor support to enhance your systems to do better health service delivery.
And in business, another economic institution cut doubts about the 28-19 fiscal targets outlined in the budget.
Following CAF's decision to disqualify Sierra Leone, Black Stars technical team set sights on winning last group qualifier against Kenya to avoid any eventualities ahead of the 2019 AFCON.
Those are coming up later on in sports, but members of parliament are also demanding action from the speaker over how a physically challenged man was last Friday stopped from entering the chamber because of his condition, even as the world commemorates International Day of the Disabled.
And later on the flip side, we hear an appeal by NDC General Secretary for aspirants to turn to the Book of Revelations for solutions of excessive fact-bearer filing and nomination fees.
I think that if they had proceeded to read Revelations, then they will reveal to us their new and better ways of funding this.
Well, the funny side of it all, later on the flip side. My name is Evans Mensah.
And mine is Gifty Ando up here.
You want to join us with your views and comments, and there's a WhatsApp 0244340437. Details after the break.
Superior services, your success our portion. Trusted, innovative financial services, providing inflation support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services, your success our portion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty. Your success our passion, oh yeah. Your success our passion.
Your success our passion.
Hello, I say, I was at now. Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smoke Ruby Adrian. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, we the Vodafone people just they call plenty. Sake of us, you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Let me explain in here. I'm a mistake where I use cement for all your projects. That's why Gassem, with 50 years experience, want to develop various greater, what's your various jobs. What was super rapid 32.5 hours. Oh no, you're suitable for your dream house. At your screening or Daduchi, Nazi or plastering, oh man, a perfect finish. Gassem, what was super strong 42.5 hours. Or your best suited for slab, pavement blocks, Nasezicha blocks, Nankasa, Archie pumping. For the biggest construction works like roads, bridges, on your high-rise buildings, contractor and use Gassem Extra 42.5N. Missy the bidet, choose Gassem always.
Gassem, the nation builder.
When the referee's whistle sounds, when the beautiful flicks and tricks account for the goals and wins, when the tempers flare and the passion is in overdrive, where do you stand as a fan? It is time to turn your passion into some real cash. Monetize your shouts at 138.com, the newest and best sports betting and virtual gaming company in town.
Sign up and enjoy 200% bonus
on your first deposit on www.138.com/Africa. Experience live in play with unbeatable odds and endless markets, and prompt payment. Mobile money enabled with quick deposit and easy withdrawal. Visit any of our retail shops in Accra at Alaju, Caprice, Jamestown, Taifa, Suetum, and Teshi. In Kaswa at Newmarket and Ufako. 138.com is licensed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and it is not for persons below age 18. Bet responsibly. Call 050-9138-138 for any inquiries. Join the winning team now. 138.com. Win every day.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're live on Joy. This is Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah. I'm here with
Gifty Ando Apia.
And let's start Newsnight from the NDC headquarters, where all day party executives have been sitting, waiting for presidential hopefuls or flag bearer hopefuls to turn up and pick nomination forms. It cost 20,000 cedis. We know that a number of them are already agitating, objecting to the cost of the forms, and have already in a petition indicated that they're boycotting the process. They will not pick the forms until the party executives rescind their decision and do something about the filing fees. They are proposing that the party charges simply 5,000 cedis for it. The party we know today have said to us that they'll go ahead with the process because there's nothing stopping them from doing so, which leaves these hopefuls 24 hours to pick up the forms, or they will crash out of the race. They will be disqualified. Well, it appears that former President John Dramani Mahama will have no such problems because forms have been picked for him today. My colleague Parker Wilson was there for us. What happened? Who showed up to pick forms for John Mahama?
Yeah, so Evans, the constituency chairman for Asawase constituency led the delegation who was there to pick up forms for the former president John Dramani Mahama, as Riley indicated. Now, when they got there, they created the impression as if they were representing the entire constituency, that is the Asawase constituency.
So they came in the name of the Asawase constituency.
Exactly.
Okay.
But General Secretary Asedin Katia wasn't enthused about the fact that they were representing the Asawase constituency. Now, he sought to let them understand or appreciate that constituency executives are not supposed to take sides and that he will not give them the forms until they clarify. So let's listen to Asedin Katia as he sought to explain to the individuals.
We did indicate that the party and its structures should be open to all candidates for them to be able to do their campaign. And so nothing prevents you as individuals within the executive of the Asawase constituency for doing whatever you want to do. But to purchase the form on behalf of the constituency structure will be wrong. That will mean that the party is paying for the form. It's like we here deciding to buy a form for a particular candidate. Okay.
So how was this resolved? Because I know eventually they got to pick the form. So how was this resolved?
I mean, there was clarity. Now, the spokesperson for the group, he's the former MC for Asakwayi Mampon, he indicated that, well, the constituency chairman is part of the group, but they are there in their capacity as individuals of the constituency wanting to procure the funds for the former president, John Dramani Mahama. And thus, even as they say, they made a promise to the former president when he visited the Asawase constituency. I mean, and the promise was that they were going to procure the forms for him to contest the flag bearership race.
This money is being paid by individuals from the constituency. For certain reasons, we'll not be able to mention one or two, but it's not party resources. It's not coming from the constituency office. It's individuals who are party members from the constituencies who have put resources together to support His Excellency. Thank you very much.
So that is the former MP. He's a former
MC.
Former MC, and he's also an executive in the.
No, he's not an executive. He's just a member.
Okay, but he was representing them.
Of course, he was a spokesperson for the group.
Okay, so they explained this away, and so they got to pick the forms and pay the 20,000, giving receipts, etc., for them to go out. But so what happens tomorrow?
So tomorrow, I mean, the party gave a 2-day exercise for
so
the nomination.
It will end tomorrow, close to day 5.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow 5 p.m. we are expecting that indeed the party will close nomination. So the party, according to Aseni Nketia, says that they are waiting. Tomorrow they'll be at the party headquarters, per the guidelines, they are going to be there and waiting for aspirant to come and pick the forms. In fact, if they don't show up, they're going to go ahead and close the nomination. And as you rightly said, if you don't show up, you're crashed out from the race. You're no longer participant of the flag bearership race for the NDC.
And this is happening, and with the concern that was raised about constituency executives coming in their names as executives to come and pick forms. In the petition that we know that the other aspirants, they've boycotted the process. Right. We know that. In the state petition they sent to the former president and founder of the NDC, they also make an allegation that, I'm quoting, in several regions, we have been informed that regional chairpersons have summoned constituency chairpersons and other officers and instructed them, in some cases with implied threats, to convert their constituency executive committees into the local chapters of a particular candidate's campaign machinery. And this is the allegation of bias that they've alleged against some of the party executives in the regions across the country, which I guess is what Aseni Nketia sort of pointed to, that you cannot do this.
You cannot do that.
If you had come in the name of a particular constituency executives, and that if you come as individuals, that's fine.
Yeah, they wanted the constituency to give all the aspirants a level playing field so that they can campaign, because if you do that, it means that you are saying that it's a no-go area for certain candidates or certain aspirants who are contesting in this race, and that wouldn't argue well for the party.
And I noted that Aseni Nketia making the point to the constituency executives who came to pick that form for John Mahama today, that if other aspirants come to Asawase, he's warning them that he should allow them to also campaign, etc. There. Exactly. Thank you very much, Parker. Let's speak to one of the aspirants. In fact, he was very instrumental in writing the petition, Idrisu Nuruddin. Mr. Nuruddin, thank you very much for your time here on Newsnight.
Thank you, Ivan.
Great. Have you picked up your nomination forms yet?
No.
Why haven't you, sir?
No, we've resolved not to proceed with the picking up of the nomination forms until our petition is heard and issues set out fully resolved.
Well, we've heard from the party general secretary, the deputy general secretary, all of them say there's nothing as we speak tonight that stops them from going ahead with the process. And so they will go ahead and sell the forms, and the forms sales will close 5 p.m. tomorrow. That will disqualify you.
Well, we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the party. We are fighting for the grassroots. We are fighting for the marginalized youth. We are fighting for the marginalized grassroots. And it's not about ourselves. So be it. If they decide not to listen to us, well, it is, we can't do much. But we believe strongly that we must fight for the underprivileged. As a social democratic party, we should be committed to rather breaking down barriers, social barriers, and be more inclusive, and rather than being divisive. So we are going ahead. We are going to continue to fight for the grassroots. We are going to continue to fight for the people of NDC, the marginalized, and we don't really care. We are prepared to sacrifice our political ambition to ensure that we have everybody on board, rather than the few class. No. We want everybody on board. We want to build a unified front. We want to accommodate everybody, and we expect our leadership to be accommodating. So, and I still strongly believe that by tomorrow they will respond.
Oh, I see. But you seem to suggest very clearly that you don't mind being disqualified because of this position you've taken.
Yes, I don't mind being disqualified.
I see.
I don't mind being disqualified. It's about the people. We must fight for the people, not for ourselves. So I don't mind being disqualified.
And since you submitted a petition yesterday to the flag bearer, to the founder of the party, is there an indication that tomorrow something would happen significantly to change the course that the party is currently on?
Yes.
What is it? What is it that's going to happen?
They are going to. I strongly believe they'll respond positively to our petition by tomorrow.
Yes. So you say strongly believe. It's not something you're setting off. It's something that you're hoping will happen.
I'm certain that it will happen. So let's give ourselves tomorrow.
Has a Council of Elders, for example, called a meeting? Do you know that?
Yes.
They have.
I spoke to one of our colleagues, senior colleague, Bagben. He confirmed. So we'll be meeting tonight as well.
So the meeting is of the hopefuls, or is the Council of Elders? Can you clarify that for me?
I had an information earlier this afternoon that the Council of Elders met. So, but I don't know the outcome yet.
Okay. So tomorrow, there's something else you said in your statement I want to quickly clarify, and I'm quoting. You said in your petition that the guidelines themselves, and particularly the provisions relating to filing fees and scheduling of the primaries, appear to have been designed to favor that same aspirant. Who is this aspirant?
Well, I don't want to mention names. We are yet to find out who the aspirant is.
Is it John Dramani Mahama?
I'm not interested in mentioning names for now.
But you know the name, you just don't want to mention it publicly.
I know the name.
You know the name?
Yes, but I don't want to.
Does the name have initials JM?
Sorry?
Does the name have initials JM?
I'm sorry, I don't want to get in there for now.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your time this evening here on Newsnight.
Okay, you're still listening to Newsnight, and of course, let's do a bit of health stories that got in the country talking, people scared as well.
And it's taking a very interesting twist, Evans, because managers of the King Health Center in Kumasi have admitted to lapses in the handling of the alleged HIV and syphilis-infected blood from the Komfo Teaching Hospital. Now, Chief Executive Dr. Kojo Eisin says the center failed to effectively communicate the result of the test. And Evans, he tells Insura FM's Human Terrier that he actually ordered for a confirmation test from the blood bank. Evans, so you'd recall, as you indicated, it got the nation talking. Evans Adokwabla, who in a Facebook post that went viral said, accused the Komfo Teaching Hospital blood bank of supplying blood infected with HIV and syphilis to his sick mother, had to go through, retesting to confirm whether what he was saying was true. And this was after he claimed the King Health Center in Kumasi had rejected the blood unit when he sent it there. Insura FM's Ohim Interior reports.
Mr. Ado Kwabla's claim follows a supposed test by King Medical Health Center, whose officials say the blood was only screened. Here is Dr. Eisin.
What we do is a first response test, which is a kit and not laboratory equipment. That yielded positive for the syphilis and HIV. It was not a confirmatory test, and I repeat. And the note I wrote stated that they should kindly recheck, meaning confirmatory. I think the public is confused about screening and confirmatory, and I hope there will be better education in due course to realize that for a lot of these serological tests or kits, they are only screening tests, and they still have some percentage of false positive, sometimes 5 to 10%. And that is why we keep on asking for bigger facilities to confirm.
Dr. Eisin says he takes the blame for the development, though he meant no harm.
There are concerns that you are a medical practitioner and you've known the managers of, for instance, the blood bank. If there was anything like communication, the medium that you use, is it the best?
I agree, there was a lapse there, and I'll be honest, it wasn't out of malice. The truth is, I actually tried calling them. I tried calling the head then, but I think she must have been at a meeting, so she didn't pick. And I'll be honest, I was also attending to other patients at that time. So I didn't have any malice, and the truth was, it's an eye-opener for me, but I agree. I mean, I take blame for that. But the idea was, well, we needed to get the blood as early as possible. And then if you read the notes, you realize I said, to whom it may concern. Meaning I wasn't too sure where it was going. And I went like, dear sir or madam. Meaning, again, I'm not too sure whose hand it's going. It was stapled. It wasn't an envelope. I think that's also another shortcoming I realized. Yeah, right. So it was meant for the blood bank and not the relative.
Meanwhile, police have sent the blood in dispute to Accra for further laboratory tests. ACP Peter Baba is regional crime officer.
Now the police has taken custody of the blood, and then we are taking them to the public health reference lab in Accra for testing. Even with that, we have requested and taken the test kits by the private hospital, the King Health Center. We've taken their test kits for testing. So all of them have been sent to Accra for the testing. So now until the results come, we will not be able to confirm.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohime Interior.
Well, Ohime Interior's report there. Ohime joins me on the line so we can interrogate this matter further. Hello, Ohime.
Hello, Gifty.
Ohime, since this issue went viral and has now become a criminal case, have they met with Evans Kwabla at all? And what kind of conversation has been going on?
I hope you are referring to managers of King Medical Center, whether they have met with Mr. Ado Kwabla Evans.
Right.
For that one, I'm not too sure, but a close source at the facility tells me relatives of the patient that Dr. Aisen and his facility has been treating have been there, and they went there with one mission to apologize to Dr. Aisen and other staff at the facility.
So has Dr. Aisen himself been invited in any of the ongoing investigations by the police?
Yes, he has been invited, and I can say he has given statement to the police. And not the invitation is not to come to the police station, but also to give statement to police, of which he submitted. As at the time I went to the facility, he was still working on the police statement. Even the police officers were also at the facility as well, where they went to collect test kits that they use for the screening on 30th November.
And on him, what about the health regulatory institutions?
Just this morning, I picked information that some regulatory institutions have been frequenting the facility, just that managers wouldn't go public. But they say yes, they have been there. But as to what they have been doing at the facility, it is not too clear. These regulatory institutions include the National AIDS Control Program and I'm told the Food and Drugs Authority. And so these are some of the regulatory institutions or facilities that have been visiting the King Health Center.
Okay. Finally, Ohime, essentially the medical center is saying that the notes they wrote for the client was meant for him to go home and go to another facility and run further checks. But then he decided to put it on social media.
Yes, that is something Dr. Kojo Eyusen has been explaining. He says, yes, and when the laboratory test, picked information that the supposed blood units may contain HIV and syphilis, or were positive, HIV and syphilis positive. That was just screening. So he gave a note. The note was written on the prescription form of the hospital. He dated it and signed, and it says that, dear sir, to whom it may concern, dear sir or madam. So he says at that time, he was attending to other patients. He made efforts to reach the hospital officials, Confanoche Blood Bank officials, but to no avail. So he stapled that particular note and gave it alongside with the blood so that the patient, the relative, would deliver to the Confanoche Blood Bank. But he was surprised to hear that the patient's relative, in this case, Mr. Ado Kwabla Evans, has kept the note, and even to the extent that he has even opened it and read it and went ahead to post it on social media. So he says, yes, it's something that is affecting him emotionally, but he takes the blame for that.
Ohime, thank you very much for that update. Now let's get speaking to another person. He's a hematologist and a blood safety officer at the National Blood Center, Dr. Ebo Aqua. Thank you very much for your time this evening here on Newsnight. Now, I'd like for you to explain this. Dr. Aisen of the King Medical Center, in the report we've played and the responses we're getting from our correspondent, is talking about a false positive result after in the blood unit. First of all, we're also hearing that he gave back the blood unit and it was meant for the hospital, not meant for the client. But then the client opened it up, read the details, and then shared it on social media. Kindly explain what is happening here.
Thank you very much for having me on the program. There are a lot of issues here. One obviously has to do with how facilities communicate with other facilities within the health network. Unfortunately, it looks like in this case the patient was a courier of not just the note but the blood unit as well, to the extent that the patient was able to confiscate the unit. That raises all sorts of questions, and I think these are things that need to be ironed out between management and the facilities. But specifically with regards to what Dr. Aisen rightly refers to as a false positive test, well, that is a technical concept. Basically, when you want to look for an organism, say bacterium, virus, whatever, in a sample, you are aware of what the test can do and what it cannot do. So we want a test to be able to say that the organism is present when it is, and also to be able to say that it is not present when it is not present. These two are very important principles. The first one, where we talk about sensitivity, it means it's good at picking out the organism if it is present. So in this case, if the blood unit does have HIV, you want a test to be able to say, yes, it does have HIV. Sometimes some of these tests, even though they're quick to say there is HIV, they could be wrong. In the sense that they may be seeing something which is not the HIV they're supposed to test, but then they'll flag it as, yes, this is reactive. And that's what we mean by a false positive, when the thing is not actually in the sample, but the test thinks that it is in the sample.
So,
example.
So the King Health Center may have found something, but that's not necessarily HIV or syphilis.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the test method thinks that it's seeing something, but what it's seeing is not necessarily HIV. It could be a fluke of technique. It could just be an inbuilt error within the test method. So you see, the thing is, King Hospital or any clinical facility, really, you don't expect them to be doing rigorous testing to be able to detect, for example, HIV when it is in very, very minute quantities. Why? Because a clinical facility, normally you are testing patients who are sick. The body is already begun to react to, say, HIV in this case, and then they are producing a lot of the substances we are looking for. So it is easy to pick because there are a lot of them floating around the body. However, a blood center, like, for example, in the Konfanochi or the Kolebu area where I work, we are supposed to use testing methods which are much more sensitive and also specific, in the sense that we are dealing with not patients, but healthy people who are coming to give blood. They are not sick. So even if they do have HIV, this is a very small quantities, and you want to pick that up. However, this goes with extra cost, and you would not expect a clinical facility which doesn't do this on a routine basis to be doing such tests.
Okay.
And so therefore, if Kompanochi is testing and says it's false negative, usually you wouldn't expect a facility to cross-check because they're not equipped for that.
Okay. So in this case, we understand that the blood samples are being sent to Accra for further test. How do we resolve this matter? What should happen?
I suppose that would be going to the Public Health Reference Lab. You know, they have higher methods of testing beyond what even the blood center does. And so in this case, they'll be looking not just to find out whether there is HIV, but to also confirm that there is not HIV. These are two separate questions that have to be answered technically. Okay. So that's what's going to happen.
Dr. Abuaka, thank you so much for your time this evening here on Newsnight. Evans.
So listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. A few of your messages coming through, a lot of it on the NDC related stories. This one from Kofi Sedu says, if Honorable Abangbagwin does not stop his verbal diarrhea concerning the filing fee of the flag bearership position, I'll advise the party to give him a suspension to serve as a deterrent to others. This one from Senna in Akachi says, good evening, NDC executives have to listen to the presidential aspirant's petition because we are in a democracy. SOFO says it's now clear the NDC is in a state of confusion, and so Ghanaians will further distance themselves from them in 2020 and beyond, since they have proven not to be an alternative. This one in Tafa Ibrahim says all those aspirants who are telling the national executives to go and raise funds to organize elections should also go and raise funds and pay for the filing fees. Send more of your messages. We'll share with the rest of the world. When we return, we'll go to Parliament. 2 stories, one on disability and second on the contract to hire drones, use drones to
deliver blood
to remote areas. That's conversation in Parliament, accusations that that contract has been inflated. Details of that right after business. Hello, George.
Hi, Everett. And coming up in business, another economic institution cast doubts about the fiscal targets outlined in the 2019 budget. That's coming from me, so I'll get you more details on that one. And if you are a subscriber or if you use internet or if you're based in the Tiptoe link, there's some interesting development for you in terms of having access to Wi-Fi services over there. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. Mark Auto Parts, distributors of Isuzu pickups and Chevy cars, and First National Bank. We are the bank that understands your business. First Bank, how can we help you?
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
The biggest mortgage expo is about to hit Accra. Republic Bank, in collaboration with Greda, is organizing the biggest mortgage expo from the 7th to the 9th of December 2018 at Silver Star Tower, Airport City, Accra. Come interact with 50 estate developers and various providers of building materials, from home appliances, furniture, and many more. Enjoy huge discounts on houses and get special interest rates on your mortgage. That's a double win for you. Don't leave the kids at home, because we have activities to engage them. Save the date, 7th to the 9th of December 2018 at Silver Star Tower, Airport City, Accra. It's the Republic Bank Mortgage Expo. Don't miss it.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. And the economic and fiscal targets set out in the 2019 budget are still being questioned by some research and economic institutions. The latest is the Statistical and Research Department of University of Ghana, that is ISE, which has raised issues with the fiscal targets. Now, government in the 2019 budget is looking at raising about 60 billion Ghana cedis in revenue and spending about 71 billion Ghana cedis in terms of expenditure. But speaking to Joy Business after reviewing the 2019 budget, Director of ISE, Professor Alex Sante, tells Joy Business that these targets will not be achieved.
I mean, when you look over the years, we never meet our targets. And like we always say, revenue to GDP ratio is always below. I think it will be very, very difficult. We need to work hard to achieve this. We have to come with innovative ways of raising revenue and move away from that traditional way of, easy way of imposing it on luxury. That is fine, but we have to be very, very innovative. There's a lot of people in Ghana who are not paying tax. Look at all those guys selling on kiosks by the roadside and all. We will say a tax stamp. But yes, we need to have a consistent way and formalize those businesses. Till those businesses are formalized, we cannot get the maximum from them.
The talk of fiscal council, I mean, is it necessary? The question is, it's another bureaucratic institution that's going to be created. Can't we be fiscally responsible without a council?
If it's going to be one of those institutions that cannot bite, and we'll be wasting our time. Like I said, we have a lot of institutions, but they are not being allowed to work. So if this fiscal council will come and will not work, then it's another institution being created from institutions that we've seen being created and not being proactive. I'm hoping that it will be proactive. If it's proactive, then it will work.
Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, that is ISEF, Alex Sandy, speaking to Ebenezer Sabute. Now, transactions under the mobile number interoperability has hit 1.4 million Ghana cedis 6 months after its operation. Introduced in May this year, this was actually meant to allow subscribers undertake mobile money transactions across the various network with little charge. Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, Gibbs Achiesi, has been talking about the structures being put in place to aid the growth of the platform.
As we speak now, we have bought the Rolls-Royce of Rolls-Royce IBMs, which we are now running on. So we have transitioned from Power 7. That's a version of IBM that we're running on. But we anticipated that with the growth that we are about to incur this year and moving forward, there's a need for us to buy new service. What we have done now is bought 2 Rolls Royces. So you can decide to sit in car A or car B. So now we have what we call the active situation. In so doing, if one goes down, the other takes up, and we do not necessarily need to come back. So we can afford to stay in one environment for 3 months, the other for 3 months, and move between it.
Achiesi is Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GIBS. Now, do you live or work around the Tiptoli around the Kwame Nkrumah Circle? Well, from today, you have access to high-speed Wi-Fi services that is in that area powered by MTN at a 50% discount. According to the telecoms giant, this will go a long way to boost business activities in that area as well as promote e-commerce. And that deal is open to both subscribers and non-subscribers of MTN. Let's still stay on MTN because it is saying that it will be offering insurance products for its mobile money agents, that is offering them various packages. General Manager of MTN Ghana, Elihini, disclosed this to Joy Business at the MTN Ghana ceremony to award hard-working mobile money operators within the southern region of the country for 2018.
Because the insurance are in different levels, depending on what you want to cover. There will be the general one, and depending on each agent and what additional risk exposures they have, there will be specific insurance products that will take care of that. We are dealing with a number of them just so we can give our agents choices based on the specific insurance, what it involves, what it covers, the specific attributes of the policy. So the agents make their choice. Remember that the agents, first and foremost, would be the ones who must show their interest, like I mentioned.
General Manager at MTN Ghana, Elihini. Now, Fidelity Bank says it is open to acquiring another bank despite meeting the new capital levels. The bank recently announced it has met the new minimum capital of 400 million Ghana cedis. This basically brought to an end to rumors the local bank was looking forward to acquire another bank to help them recapitalize. But board chair of Fidelity Bank, Edefa, tells Joy Business they will consider it if it presents itself.
We are always on the lookout to see whether we should marry or acquire a partner that will bring value. But having said that, I think it's very important that when you are doing that, you ensure that you're very clear in your objectives, because a lot of mergers and acquisitions have also been disasters. So we're open to it, and as you know, in 2014 we acquired Pro Credit Savings and Loans, and it's been integrated very well into the bank. It was an acquisition which was very successful, and certainly we saw another such opportunity, we would explore it.
Is the stock market an option now or still being considered?
It's not an immediate priority.
Identifies board chair of Fidelity Bank. We have strong holding in most of the commercial banks that we have invested. Now, this despite the fresh round of investment by shareholders in some of these banks that SSNIT holds significant interest in. One can talk about Republic, EcoBank, and CalBank. Let's listen to Dr. Verity Nkran. He's Director General of SSNIT.
I can tell you that all the banks that we hold significant interest in, or even those that we hold insignificant interest in, all of them have been able to meet the minimum capital requirement. Now, a lot of them did it through rights issues. And for those that came to us with a rights issue, we followed our rights, which means that we contributed our fair share to the capital call. Some of them did it through by retaining earned income. Instead of them paying as dividends, they did not pay, and they said that they were going to use those dividends to meet the MCR. And some of them did it through asking us to subscribe to preference shares. So they issued fixed income instruments that we have invested in. Our portfolio, as we were talking about today, could use a little bit more fixed income. So we subscribe to some preference shares for some of the banks.
Dr. Fred Nkwan is Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. Let's turn our attention to the stock market. If you hold shares in Standard Chartered Bank, its shares value has gone up by 2 pesos to close at 20 Ghana cedis, 24 pesos. For MTN, it was up by a peso and it's now worth 81 pesos. And that's all for Business on Newsnight, Evans.
George, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, George. Why are you smiling like that?
Because I can go to Tiptoe Lane and get access to some Wi-Fi 50% discount.
Okay. Wish you all the best. The minority in Parliament is accusing Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia of fraudulently and criminally inflating the deal that will allow for the use of drones in the distribution of blood.
Well, according to the minority spokesperson on finance, Kesalato Forsen, the company to execute the project, Fly Zipline, will be making over 600% profit on the deal. He says the plan is to purchase drones, which should ordinarily cost about $100,000 for $1 million. The Health Committee of Parliament is recommending approval of the deal after the agreement was laid in the House last month. Atuforsen says the Vice President will be causing financial loss to the state if the deal goes through.
Fortunately, His Excellency the Vice President is leading Ghana into the path of unrighteousness. The Vice President is leading Ghana to commit ourselves into a deal that will be very woefully to the finances of this country. In fact, he's going to cause financial loss to the state because clearly the document that has been presented to Parliament is nothing but fraudulent. Each distribution center is bringing a drone, and actually the cost of the drone is $1 million. I've done a quick analysis and I've looked at the specification of the drone. What we have there clearly indicate that the cost of a drone cannot exceed $100,000. Now, something that is actually costing about $100,000 or less, all of a sudden is being sold to Ghanaians at a cost of $1 million. This is nothing but, it's not even fraud. I think it's criminal. It's thievery, but nothing else. Because clearly, we have the details. In fact, the one that I found, that is about $100,000. The specification is far higher than the other specification that they're actually selling to Ghana at $1 million. Now, granted that even the cost is right, granted that they come out with the argument that the cost is right, the company is investing $1 million. 1 year, you are paying them $1.7 million. On average, for 4 years, you are paying them $7 million plus. And so they are ending up having profit returns on that investment, approximately 600%.
So that is Kesalato Forsen there. But the Health Minister, Kwaku Agyeman, has been defending this deal. He's insisting that it is in the best interest of this country.
Mr. Speaker, I want to stress again that the Finance Minister did not put a signature on here because this is not going to be done from the consolidated account. The public purse is not going to come in here. I'm very glad that when the ranking member for the committee was speaking, he mentioned Bill and Melinda Gates. Is that where Ghana's consolidated account sits? So why should the Minister for Finance come in when we have stated explicitly that this is not going to be paid for by the state, but we have private sector corporates that have given us indication of their willingness to fund.
Evan, so that's the minister, the health minister earlier in Parliament.
Let's speak to Dr. Kwabena Chumnyama. He's the chairman of the health committee in Parliament, who is joining us on the telephone line right now. Hello, Dr. Nyama. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
We actually have Dr. Ayuefree there on the line, who is also the vice chairman. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Ayuefree, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Yeah, good. Yeah, thank you, and good evening, my brother.
We just heard the minister say to us, say to Parliament, that this deal is going to be financed by the private sector, and so if that's true, it doesn't matter if it's inflated or not.
Well, I don't even know where the issue of inflation comes from. You have a service agreement which was considered by the health committee, and as a matter of principle, as a matter of fact, the value for money audit, which is part of parliamentary process as it is, they have brought assurance that VFM report will be available, and that's where we look at the costing and other things that make it the net effect of the marginal social benefit to the marginal social cost, and therefore the allocation of the resource to see if it's an effective project or an efficient way of allocating resources. The populism that came around this issue this morning in terms of looking at a cost of a certain drone, and you don't know what specifications they used and all sorts of things that they were bringing on board was too early to talk of. I think the issue today in a service agreement is looking at the benefits of the program, okay? And that is where the argument is. And then you look at the VFM, and then you look at the tendency of making all these arguments of the cost in here and cost in there. But my brother, what are you talking about? I mean, Ghana is not in isolation in terms of this project, okay? And that is where the benchmark, what is happening elsewhere. One kind of like Rwanda, whose socioeconomic status is the same as Ghana, okay? Now we're looking at the mortality rate in terms of maternal deaths and all of it. And what is in Rwanda is not different from what is in Ghana.
Okay, so we point to the case of Rwanda. Did Rwanda buy the drones at the cost we are proposing to buy it?
The same. I'm happy you have asked this question. As far as the committee was concerned, and the questions that we asked, and everything that we said was similar. And for that matter,
so how much did Rwanda buy it for?
They have decided to get members to go to Rwanda to understudy.
Oh, so you're not going to go to Rwanda?
Yes, to go to Rwanda.
So what you're just saying is that you haven't verified the figures you were told at the committee level. You're not going to verify.
No, you are talking about a similar situation. Verification in terms of what?
I'm asking who told the committee that the Rwandan drones cost the same as the one we budgeting to buy in Ghana?
88,000 cedis a distribution center to be paid per month is what is in the proposal that we worked on.
So this is the government proposal that came to you?
Yes, but that is what they are saying. They say that similarly, it is done in Rwanda. I cannot tell you what is going on in Rwanda. I've not been there.
I get the point, but that is why I'm asking. That is why I'm asking that as my rep in Parliament, when government tells you this is the cost, you have to verify to make sure the value for money is there. And just asking.
Exactly. That is why they said they will bring the value for money report later, just like any other service agreement. And for that matter, we have also asked that we want to go and understudy both the service and in terms of the financial implications.
Will this all happen before you approve the deal?
Sorry?
Will all this happen before you approve the deal?
But in any case, it was not approved today. So that is it that we have also arranged. So it's likely, hopefully, that it will be done before. But then also, there's another bit of the argument in terms of talking about the resources that will be available to take care of this. Now, they're looking at the donor community who are willing to be able to take care of this. And then also some private institutions who want to take their corporate social responsibility. Because issues to do with black and the rural area are things that borders on equity. And for that matter, if people want to use their corporate social responsibilities to help the poor woman who may lose their life because of the lack of blood, then at the end of the day, it is a good spirited effort and a good will.
However,
larger corporate society.
However, and this is my final question. However, though, in this country, is the drone delivery of blood to these unreachable areas a priority when it comes to healthcare? Because we know we lack ambulances.
It is a priority.
I'm just asking.
A life lost by a mother is irreplaceable.
I get the point. I'm just asking the question. We know that we don't have ambulances. We're going to spend millions to buy drones and fly it in a country where reception is a challenge. I'm just wondering whether at this time in our country's history, this is what we should be spending money in terms of fixing the health challenges for the people in these remote parts of the country.
You need 200,000 blood pens a year. Currently, we're doing about 176,000. Now, the equivalent of even a blood cost about 100 Ghana cedis or 200 Ghana cedis. Multiply it to about 200,000, and you will see how much goes into this already in the system. And therefore, getting one a kind, that was cheaper. Getting one a kind. That I don't want to even go to the financials. It's not as if there's no supply of blood in the system from the National Blood Bank. There is. And they are spending huge money anyways. But the point is that you're looking at an alternative process that will save you. And now you're going to push me into financial value for money. And I'm going to tell you that, wait, because we've asked all these questions. It's not as if there's no investment in the system already. There is. And what appears as what is happening now is more expensive if you are going to use this alternative. But then if you push me to the VFM, there's the value for money.
Okay.
Then I'm going to say that you should take your time and let us get a report. But on behalf of the people, we've asked all these questions.
Okay. I'm grateful that you joined us. That's Dr. Ayew Afriyie. He's the Vice Chair of the Health Committee in Parliament. And Baba is here with the latest from the world of sports. Hello, Babs.
Hi, Evans. I hope you've had a good day so far.
Yes, of course. Now that you're here, it's even better.
Oh, I'm glad.
Shouldn't you have asked about mine too?
I'm sorry. You don't really matter to me. Evans does.
Thank you very much, Babs.
You look good in blue.
You too, baby.
Thank you. We take on.
Talk to me.
Well, CAF's executive committee at its meeting on Friday, November 30, disqualified Sierra Leone from the 2019 AFCON qualifiers and, in effect, annulled all their matches after the West African country failed to meet the conditions aimed at lifting a FIFA ban. Ghana is in Group F with Kenya, Ethiopia and Sierra Leone, and with this decision from the Continental Football Governing Body, the group becomes one of only 3 teams. First Deputy Coach of the Black Stars, Ibrahim Tanko, says the news from CAF is no surprise.
For us, it's not new because they failed to agree on what CAF or FIFA said about their FA. So when we have to play against them in Kumasi and the game was called off, we believe that there's no any FIFA date anymore. So for us, it's not a surprise that they are out of the competition.
So after 3 games, Kenya leads the group with 7 points, followed in second place by Ghana with 6 points. Ethiopia are third with 1 point after 4 games. CAF is yet to decide on the dynamics as to how many teams get to qualify from Group F. The technical team of the Black Stars, which is yet to meet, wants to ensure that no decision from CAF will hinder their progress to next year's Cup of Nations. Here's Ibrahim Tanko once again.
For us, the most important thing is we must win our last game at home against Kenya, and then we can avoid all this calculation. If it is 2 teams that is going, we qualify, and if it is only 1 in our group, after beating them, we'll qualify. So I think it's the main thing that we have to concentrate on because we never knew what is going to come. As you said, we are going to meet as a technical team and then look at a way forward. And I think we have to involve also the FA because everything will come from them because all the letters that will come will go to the FA so that they will also brief us at the way forward.
This first deputy coach of the Black Stars, Ibrahim Tanko. Evans,
tell me.
Looks like you and I have a deal on December 5.
Tell me about it.
And it is the Reds against the Reds.
The Reds versus the Reds.
We are going to Old Trafford.
Who is going to Old Trafford?
Arsenal is coming to Old Trafford. What are you talking about?
On Wednesday.
I want to talk to you about this before we beat you on Wednesday. Yes.
On Wednesday.
The haters don't even know that Arsenal is, represents Red.
No,
somehow.
the thing is, if you don't beat us, I'll be very surprised. In fact,
hey, United! Is this what it has?
I won't be surprised. I'll be disappointed.
That Arsenal doesn't beat United at Old Trafford.
Yes.
The theatre of dreams.
Please.
Why?
Oh, you see,
Mourinho needs to go.
You have to quicken the dismissal of Mourinho.
So it used to be Wenger must go. Now it's Mourinho must stay. Mourinho must stay.
Go.
You must stay.
Let's go. Bye-bye.
Right, I'll see you around.
Thank you, Baba.
Okay, so let's go back to Parliament, Evans, because it is International Day for Persons with Disability, and members of Parliament are demanding action from the Speaker over how a physically challenged man was last Friday stopped from entering the chamber because of his condition. Alex Tete, who was a member of the Right to Information Coalition team that was in the House to demand passage of the RTI bill, says he was told he cannot get in because he won't be able to stand when the Speaker is leaving the chamber as is customary.
Yeah, I was told I cannot enter because I'm a person with disability. I cannot stand when the Speaker is coming or when the Speaker is rising. So I was denied access to the Parliament House because of that.
Okay, but did you challenge it?
I did. I asked them. So if can't I be an MP? Because if I'm an MP, am I required to stand if the Speaker is rising or is coming? So I asked them, and they said, "Well, that's the instruction that was given to them." No, I was sad. I cannot understand why I cannot enter because of my disability. I did not cause my disability. And why should I be denied a right or access because I'm a person with disability?
So that is Alex Tete there. Well, a statement from the House said Parliament is investigating the issue. Delivering a statement to mark the World Disability Day, North Tongue MP Samuel Ablakwa called for swift action on the issue.
He was physically prevented from entering the public gallery of this House, allegedly on the basis that he would not be able to stand when the Speaker enters the chamber. If confirmed to be true, this scandalizes this august House, and we must take steps to ensure such reprehensible conduct never occurs again. Knowing you, Mr. Speaker, I believe you will cause an investigation into this report, which threatens to dim the image of this Parliament. The right to participate in public life is essential to create stable democracies, active citizenship, and reduce inequalities in society. And so where such incidents are reported, swift and firm action must be taken.
Member of Parliament there, Okujeto Ablakwa, well, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Wusu, who presided over sitting, says the security in the House has denied any such incident happened.
The report reflects that it is not the policy of Parliament to disallow people with disability into the chamber. Our security are denying the report, but if it did happen, it is most unfortunate and it is most regrettable. But we will assure the public that every effort will be made to facilitate people with disability who wish to enter or visit Parliament in future.
So that's the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Wusu there. Evans.
Well, let's do some flip side now. You know, there's been a very heated last few days within the National Democratic Congress. But I know Johnson Suden gets it. He will always find the lighter side of things in the midst of all the talk about excessive filing and nomination fees in the NDC for their flag bearers and contest. The General Secretary of the party has some interesting advice for the complaining aspirants. He wants them to turn to the Bible for solutions.
None of them appears to be giving us suggestions as to the way forward. Just complain. It's like when you take the Bible and you read Lamentations alone, you just become sorrowful, and that's it.
That's what they're doing?
That, in my view, yes. Because I think that if they had proceeded to read Revelations, then they will reveal to us their new and better ways of funding this.
Oh, that's the Lamentation Revelation edition of Newsnight. my name is Evans Mentor.
And mine is Gifty and Doppia. Many thanks for your time.